Peace, everybody. Defected Demon here. Got very inspired a second ago. So shout out to Empress Shah, whether you ever see this or not. Just want to bite off her style. Heard her tribal music in the background and decided to, put on a little Orisha music, something very cultural. The point of this video in particular is just to share my thoughts on some things. I tend to have an extremely different point of view on most things. With me being Libra in the tropical sense of astrology and being Virgo and sidereal, which is of course more compatible to us melanin skinned folk. Also having the spirit of Oya, be the govern, the number 9, mediumship. All those energies have enabled me to be able to just see things from a very different perspective. Oftentimes I'm able to see both sides of a situation. Therefore, I'm always looking to be a really good student. Always really looking to learn and to figure out a lot of stuff. But in particular, I really wanted to talk about religion. Religion, if you understand its true context, it means tying back to one's own self. It is what you do. So the thing that I guess that's bothering me is that there have been a lot of new energies that have been brought into this world that probably never existed. I look back at the misuse of a lot of spirituality and answers that be in people's faces. Like for my Christians, I really wish that you were able to see that when you put the praying hands together, you're making a pyramid sign with your hands. What is supposed to happen, if you understand the knowledge, is that you were supposed to be able to speak your words, use your spirit, your breath, to pray into your hands, and then those hands will be able to go and do the work that you just prayed into it. One interesting thing about me, I've never, even in my days of Christianity, I've never felt compelled to worship any spirits. And I've always had respect for the spirit world. If I was in a particular spiritual situation, because I bounced around. I bounced around a lot because I was a serious student of everything it was. When I took Christianity very seriously, I began to see the fallacies and this, that, and other. It's not a judgment. This is just, my experience. Moved on to other, spirituality. Spent some time in Ifa, Santeria. I also spent some time in Palo Mayombe. And I guess the thing I share most is the best thing that you can do is what resonates well with you. And if something changes, you can't be afraid to leave these situations. A lot of time when you're becoming clear and you're knowing yourself, you can find yourself just getting into a situation, but something to quicken you. The new clarity that you have, the new growth, the new spirituality will pull you away from a situation. It's not about being a quitter. It's not about being a runner. But we have to continue to seek and find what is best for us. That is the most important thing that we can do. And I'll give you my unique take on it. I understand religion. I understand what it's for. With some of the original Vedic, like the Mahabharata, maybe the Sumerian documents, or what is one of the other really old ones? I'm talking about beyond ancient Egypt. But I believe that particular thing wasn't really religion, more so than they were telling stories of exactly what happened. They were given the ability and the knowledge to write, and they recorded exactly what they saw. Winged beings and different type of things coming into existence, and ships called Vimanas and different things of that nature. So, in the newer religion, it is really interesting. I tell you, Jesus actually fascinates me because Jesus is one person that will be able to do something that no one else has been able to do. It says that in the end, Jesus is going to kill death itself. I'm not judging. I don't condone or condemn. I'm not for or against. I'm not really understanding that. And then it's constant worship. And then Jesus wants to do all these things with nothing in return. One thing I've learned about spirituality, though, like real, true spirituality at its basics. True, basic, bottom line spirituality is simply being in tune and then finding a way to divine what is being said to you. If you hear the little voices but you don't understand them, or you get inklings and you don't understand them, That's when you can have a priest or some type of spiritual person to bless them, and for the prayer that person, because all priests, whether it be the preacher, the shaman, whoever it is, what people don't get, those people are supposed to have a certain level of spirituality and spiritual power. So they're supposed to be able to do things for you. That's why you can take, go and get the holy water for the Christians and the babalawos and this, that, and the other to get these things blessed. So back to the main point. When you get into spirituality, you're beginning to listen to the things that are being said to you. Then you are getting a personal relationship with some of these spirits. You're communicating with them. Again, this is just basic what spirituality is, being in tune, listening to what's being said. Because if you're spiritual, then you understand that everything has a spirit. Everything has a soul. So you are communicating with beings in either other dimensions or beings that have moved on to the spiritual plane, or some other diaspora of understanding that we can't comprehend yet. But when you bond with these spirits, let me start that over. What people must understand too is that for every single thing that you desire, there is actually a spirit that will do it for you. If you have the spiritual will and you have the spiritual know-how, the power to go with it, you can get these beings to do it for you. But that's where the free will comes in. If you understand these things, what will you do with that information? Will you use these things for good? Will you overuse them? Will you be selfish? So it's very important to understand the words that we are using when we constantly label ourselves. We have to be careful of what we call ourselves as well. So my whole take on spirituality is that if that's what you're really doing, then you have bonded with some type of other dimensional being that you either trust or is asking for something. But with the Jesus thing, like I said, he asked for nothing in return. But every other spirituality, including the Orishas, again, who I acknowledge Orisha, I acknowledge all deities, but I don't worship anyone, but I digress. But you have to give them something, food. For most of the traditional African religions, or even the Chinese and others, they at least keep some type of altar to where every day they're offering the spirit of their house, or a person who was once some kin to them, or maybe even a brand new spirit, or a spirit that has a specific job. They offer some type of water and incense and some type of food. So the thing is, just learn what we're saying, and I'll close by my true unique take on everything that is going on is that the best you can do is learn everything that you can and become clear, extremely clear with yourself and who you are and what resonates with you. And then you must seek to find other lights that shine like yours and help to continue to build that particular thing. Everyone has their own individual light to shine, and they have a right to shine it. We just have to figure out who we are and what choices that we made, or the agreement that we made to do before we came to the marketplace this time. So